Well, cheers. How you do, buckaroos? And how the heck are you? As Whiskey Train plays. There you go, Whiskey Train. Hey, how the heck are you? So here's what I got, man. I got two 100 proof Bond whiskeys. I'm getting near the end of both. I got the Evan Williams Bottled in Bond 100 proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Runs about 18 a bottle in my neck of the woods. So I'm going to pour a nice jigger pour here. I'm going to drink both on the rocks, so just so you know. And for about 20 bucks here, I've got the Jim Beam Bond 100 proof as well. 100 proof bottled in bond. Pour it up to that line. So I got a nice jigger pour of each in there. All right, so I've got the Evan Williams here in the Kilbeggan glass. I've got the Jim Beam in my half full, half empty glass here. So while those get happy for a second, I'm going to read a little bit from the Evan Williams bottle. Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, 100 proof Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Bottled in bond status is earned only by meeting strict government standards, originally passed in 1897, to ensure quality and consistency. In accordance with these standards, this bourbon is 100 proof, aged at least 4 years, and produced at a single distillery within a single distillation season. Evan Williams set up his distillery on the banks of the Ohio River in 1783 and is historically recognized as Kentucky's first distiller of bourbon. The special bottled in bond bourbon is a genuine sour mash that honors his pioneering heritage. Excuse me, I gotta scratch my nose and I'm trying to get off camera. Sorry about that. That itch, man. So the Jim Beam Bond is a pre-prohibition style bourbon with a 100 proof flavor and a hint of oak spiciness, making it the perfect mixer in any classic American cocktail. Aged in the heart of Kentucky, Jim Beam bonded Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey is made for those who take their whiskey seriously. So yeah, what you got here, these are similarly priced whiskeys. At full price, both whiskeys, there's about a $5 difference with the Jim Beam being a little higher. But at any given time, you can find both of them, or one or the other on sale. And in this particular case, the Evan Williams was about $1 off its regular price when I picked it up. The Jim Beam was about three dollars off. So I paid 7.5 for this one. I paid 18.69, I believe, for the Beam. So very close. Well, what I noticed right away on the nose is even they say a hint of spice. I'm getting a lot of spice. There's much more spice coming from the Beam than the Evan Williams. And there's more oak as well. Keeping in mind I'm drinking them both on the rocks, which does mute the nose a little bit. Let's be honest about that. But the price of both whiskeys, which makes them fine to use in a cocktail or a highball, both are ideal for highballs, to be honest with you. But I don't find either of them too harsh to drink neat or rocks. But I actually prefer both of them, rocks as to neat. But not because either one of them is harsh. It's more of about the nuances. It's not as nuanced a whiskey as I like to drink neat. But I will say that the nose on the Beam, as I try to scratch my nose again off camera, the nose on the Beam is a little more bold. Whereas I haven't tasted the bean yet, but as I said, the spice was very strong on the bean. The spice on the flavor, you really get a lot of spice from this Evan Williams on the back end. There's no doubt about that. Brown sugar, maybe a little honey, certainly some toffee, some vanilla early on, but that finishing spice is what's really nice. You get a bit of oak, uh, big bold cinnamon, and maybe just a little bit of cayenne as well. That's nice. I got to tell you, I mean, it's early on for both of these, but I think that the both the nose, both the aroma and the flavors are more pronounced on the bean. They're also what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe cohesive. Maybe try not to use the word smooth. The vanilla is more pronounced on the bean without a doubt. I'm gonna say toffee more so than caramel. A lot of spice in the finish, uh, but it comes at you in a different way than the Evan Williams does. Not necessarily less, but maybe more even. Although I don't find the Evan Williams harsh at all drinking neat, it probably is a whiskey best suited for a highball. To be honest with you, I'm going to say even highball more so than a cocktail. And again, it would depend on the cocktail, but because of the nature of the whiskey, I think it really lends itself well to a highball, whether that's club soda, Seven Up, Coke, whatever your mixture of choice is for your particular favorite highball. Yeah, I think it just lends itself well to that nature. Ready on the left, ready on the right, ready on the fire line. Anyway, sorry about that. I was channeling my inner blues singer. Oh, my nose just started itching. I gotta stop it, man. Now I've let them both sit for a while. So the nose on the Evan Williams. Now that I've let this sit a little bit, I do get a little more oak and a little more spice than I did initially. Vanilla comes up in a great big way with just a little bit of toffee. Whereas the Jim Beam, where I mentioned a whole lot of spice early on, the spice was in the forefront early on the nose, and now I get a lot of the oak with the spice kind of secondary. And again, vanilla toffee. You might find some fruit notes right there. I was picking up just the slightest bit of orange, almost like orange marmalade right now. I do find the bean, to be honest with you, I do find the bean a little cleaner. Let's have a cleaner taste, a cleaner finish, if that means anything to you. Whereas I don't find the Evan Williams harsh. It is a little rougher around the edges, but there are some similarities to the whiskey. To be honest with you, I found the Evan Williams as low as 15, as high as 20. I paid 17.49. I've seen the Jim Beam bonded uh, as low as 16.99, as high as 25, but it typically runs about 21, 22. But I picked it up at about 18 and change. It was like 18.69, something like that. So I thought, well, what the hell? I'm going to pick it up. So here's my analysis for a similar price. If I'm looking at only a dollar difference, if I'm buying one whiskey and there's a dollar difference between the Evan Williams and the Jim Beam, I'm buying the Jim Beam every time. But if the Evan Williams happens to be on sale and let's say 15.99 and the Beam is 21, I'll probably buy the Evan Williams. However, the other scenario is If it's on sale for $15.99 and that's on sale for $19.99, I'm gonna buy the Jim Beam every time because I think it's worth the extra couple dollars for a slightly more nuanced flavor and aroma. So there you go. That is my assessment. That's that's my assessment. I am Tom Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor wisdom man. All around good guys. Jimmy Thackeray, Detroit Iron, starts to play. Hey man, y'all have a good one.